issue that was taking a while, but it got settled finally, so we're gonna be
Yep.
kicking off this next game.
All right.
Alright, so Carmano's game is up, and that's the game that we're gonna be watching. Carmano, if you guys don't know, is Ryan Yu. Can't wait to see what he's gonna be playing.
Yeah, he won the LCS 3 with Sky Striker for people that doesn't know his name.
Yeah, it was definitely extremely crazy. I think he also won like Worlds at like 15, right? With like Chainburn? Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. He did a recent result with Sky Striker, so people are maybe thinking that he's playing striker, but as we can see, he's playing Burning Abyss.
Burning Abyss, that's definitely an interesting pick. Can't wait to see what he can do. I wonder if he's playing the trap version or if he's playing something spicier. Hope to see.
Yeah, so okay, so that play is playing around um Nibiru. Also, he's not using Dante's effect on first turn if he has already Skarm, I think. That's interesting.
That's definitely interesting. I guess he just values the Beatrice play more, but maybe he thinks that he's going to be able to camp on the Beatrice for a couple of turns. That might be the play. We'll have to see how that plays out.
I think if he has Skarm already, there's just nothing he want to meal, because he doesn't want to meal anything that summons a monster. So
True.
so except if he's playing Backjack, so his opponent can guess that he's not playing Backjack, maybe, or like only one Backjack or something like that.
And that imperm is definitely going to hurt. This forces
Yep.
the Beatrice right here, so he has to make a suboptimal send, which is going to be, it's not the worst thing, but definitely stops the disruption for a turn.
It's not the worst thing, but still, Ryan has now only one interrupt, which is the back row for sure, and maybe a hand trap. But we know that Burning Abyss is not playing a lot of hand traps,
Right.
so it depends on BX hand. Okay, so he's playing Backjack, but yeah, he's able to send it with Beatrice, so maybe it was not even useful to use Dante last turn. But it's really interesting. That play is really interesting though. Not using Dante on first turn.
I think a lot of the lists play like one backjack, right? Like they don't play like a whole lot of backjacks. If they only play one, then I can see not using Dante in the first turn if you already have the Scarm. But I'm not sure with
Yeah,
this is.
true. Since it's a fiend, you can just send it with Rhino. You have so many interaction with it. So all right. So now Backjack resolved. Uh, so Carmano is able to see the top 3 cards of his deck and rearrange them. And then during the opponent's turn, he can also banish Backjack to mill a card, mill the top card of his deck, and if it's a trap, he can set it, and he can use it this turn. So it's really useful.
This is against salads too, so if he gets a Fiend Griefing or anything like that, which a lot of BA players like to play, that'll
Hmm.
be very, very strong against this deck. So we have BXST underscore 10. I'm gonna call him BX just because
Yeah, we
seems
will. Oh my god.
he is on Salamangreats and he opened pretty good. He had Ash Imperm and
It's okay.
Jaguar is not the most optimal normal summon.
Yeah. So he used Ash on on the Skarm effect, but I think I would have keep Ash for the Beatrice maybe.
Or even the Torghast
Anyway,
next turn. Yeah.
we can guess that the trap card is not the Paleozoic card. It could have been the Paleozoic card, the Deinonychus, because Carmano kept one card in his hand. But it looks like it's not, since he did not use it on the normal summon.
Especially with Jaguar just being such an easy target for that, you would think he would use it if he had it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
When it comes to Xyz, this is definitely a really strong play coming out of the Sala player.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to go for game here. I don't know if you go for game versus Beatrice still on the field, just because you don't want it to float into something. Not every
Um, it depends. It depends because the back row is really scary. At that point, it can only be the card that shuffle one card from the opponent graveyard in the deck.
yeah, fiend griefing.
Fin Griffin, yeah, thanks. Because it can be any any banishing stuff, so it can be Dynamiscus. Uh, what else are Burning Abyss playing? Maybe he plays TT.
He could be playing Twin Twisters, but
Oh, I'm saying a Torrential Tribute.
a Torrential? Hmm. If he had a
That might
Torrential
be a
yet,
good card.
that would have been huge. But that Ling Karibo comes on the field, so whatever that trap is,
It's now stand.
yep,
And he's definitely not playing Cold by the Grave because the deck is not dying to hand traps.
right.
So now he only has the card in his hand to help him. We know that he has a Scarm in hand, added back with Dante this turn, and he has one unknown. So do you think they are playing Nibiru? is currently playing Nibiru.
It's definitely possible. I think main decking Nibiru in almost every deck is smart right now. I think the only deck that you wouldn't do it in is what, like Altergeist, just because the situation that Altergeist has with Faker.
Hmm. So obviously, guys, we are able to see the list of the people in feature match, but we can't tell you if they are playing this or this card because the players can be on the feature match as well. But here it looks like he's trying to go on the OTK. Um, to be honest, it was really well played. But now Backjack just set another trap. Did you see what it was?
Was Paleozoic Deinonychus was
And now there's a problem. Now there's a problem. If you were Carmino, will not you just use Backjack effect when Jaguar was on field?
I would have as well. It was definitely interesting, but maybe he was trying to play around the like will or something like that. But I think
Yeah,
that
but still, because it's always gonna end up handling only one monster. So okay, maybe he just wanted to know if the opponent had Gazelle or uh, Exceed before going on any move.
it's definitely strange, but I think that he's still in a good spot here. Depending on what he discards and sends, might be able to swing this back in his favor.
Yeah. Okay, so now Finn Griffin is able to send Farfa, which is going to be able to banish another monster. And Beatrice is just not beatable by Salamangreat without going on huge link plays.
Exactly. I think that this Beatrice is definitely going to run the game. I like that he
Yeah,
put more materials underneath it. I don't think he knew what this player was playing, but him putting more
no,
materials in it for like the grind game was definitely you can see it
yeah.
coming out, you know?
This matchup is just really bad for Salah, I would say, because Burning Abyss is playing so many trap cards that are really huge against Salah. For example, Dynamascus, Fen Griffing, sometimes TT is a problem as well when you have Exceed. They are playing Karmaket sometime and like a lot of hand traps. So
Yeah, and they can't really get over Beatrice that easily with any of their monsters. They definitely would have to commit to
yeah,
something really big, and it's
even
very
Dante, even Dante is a problem if it's in defense mode, which is always gonna be.
Via is just one of those decks that's just timeless, right? Like it's always performed in when you never expect it to as well. It's very one of those fan favorite decks that just never dies.
Yeah, true. I think Salah is gonna be this type of deck as well in the future. It's just so versatile. You can manage to build this for every format.
If it wasn't for the backjack here, like getting the Dino-Miscus, the Salad player would have definitely had this game in the bag. Fortunately, backjack's just such a good card,
Yeah,
especially for this deck. So the game goes to I and you.
exact. So now he's siding. If I was the Salamangreat player, uh, going first, I would be pretty confident. It just depends on. I think you keep the floodgate in. Like maybe Summon Limit is really good. Goes and Match if he's playing Goes and Match is also really good because you can lock your opponent into dark when they put two BA on the field and they are really locked because Dante is the light.
I think the biggest issue with this matchup as well is Rage is it's only good versus the back row. You can't really clear the monsters with it. I mean, you can, but they just float and everything just becomes that much more of a problem.
Yeah,
But one of the few
Rage is a good card, but we're not really scared about the BA engine when you go first. They are not gonna destroy your board thanks to the BA engine.
of
So
course.
Rage is gonna be good because the only way they can win, I would say, would be to put the Dante on the field and set like 3 cards, and then they can try to grind out you. But if you have Rage, you can just clear all the back rows.
Which is definitely the big issue here. Not just
Yeah.
that, but I mean, if you can set up a roar with your floodgates, then you pretty much can protect your floodgates from any sort of harm that the BA player Ryan would be able to dish out.
Yeah, so the I think yeah, so something we talked about before was is BA playing Nibiru, and I don't think they are because having Nibiru on the field means you cannot special summon, like you cannot control any BA.
This is true.
So I would say that when you're playing Sala, you can just forget about Nibiru. I don't know if Carmino is playing it or not, but I know that if I was playing against Sala, maybe I will just not respect Nibiru, or at least not that much.
I think it's definitely correct to not play around the Nibiru here because then they would just have to play off the tour guide or like Fiend Griefing or something or Rhino Warrior, which isn't optimal because that's not always in your hand, right? So I
Yeah,
think
exactly. So Foxy revealed Wheel, right?
right.
So when you do something like normal summon Foxy and using the effect of Foxy, you can already guess the Salamangreat player hand. Like
Yeah, that
it
means they
mean yeah, it
either
means a
have a
lot.
way to get to Gazelle or they already have a way to special summon. It means that they don't need to use their graveyard effect to special summon to make the link too.
Yeah, I think he has Desire as well. Because in that kind of hand, it's either you have a lot of interrupt already, like he's gonna set 3, or he has Desire. So yeah, I will not be surprised if we see set 3 or set 2 and one hand trap at the end of the turn. The only bad hand would be Foxy plus a lot of non-useful Salamangreat monster like Jaguar, Falco. Even Spinny is not that cool. Having Will is a great thing in that matchup since it's not like it's really hard to handle for them.
Would have to draw the Dinomischus.
Yeah, and also you don't really want to use Dynamiscus on Will. So I think Will is gonna stay until the end of the duel. But you will definitely prefer to see something else than Will in that spot because you're more likely gonna have another Samurai monster in your hand, so you already have follow-up. Maybe Roar would have been better here if he has other interruption. Okay,
That also
so he's not respecting 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna see if if he respects Nibiru or not. Okay, so he had Gazelle in hand and he did not use it before. That's interesting.
definitely very strange. If he would have had Gazelle, you would have think he would have used it when he made the Phalanx, but I guess not.
Maybe he just wanted to be able to play around Nibiru by being sure to add a fire, but if he has wheel, he's already sure to add a fire. If he does Bailink, special summon Gazelle, Gazelle can send a trap, and then you do Sun Knight, and you do Will Reborn, Foxy, add back Gazelle, and that's your 5th summon.
Exactly. There's also ways that you can play around Nibiru just by not um, relinking the Sunlight Wolf with the field card and just playing around it that way. And then once they drop the Nibiru, you can go ahead and activate the will too. So it's definitely very strange that he went to this line of play.
Yeah, you could also, if you really want to respect it, do normal Foxy use effect, see wheel, go into Bailings, special summon Gazelle, send Roar, and do another Bailings, for example. There's so many ways you can play around it. But here he's not sending any trap cards, so maybe
Also
he
very
has them
strange.
already.
Yeah, the Falco send was definitely strange too. He could be going for like a rank 4, maybe he wants to make Dweller. No, he's just going to be setting for the hmm.
Mm-hmm. So he said only one, and that's okay. And so now I'm confused.
I think that's obviously Rage if he went for Falco, but going for the Rage loop against Burning Abyss is not correct at all, I don't think.
I just
But
don't understand because the only way you could, like, because he made the move with Gazelle after Sunlight, he, I think he was confused as well, and then he sent Falco, but he just could make a Bailings, you know? Like, he could make a Bailings with Gazelle and get back Gazelle, so he could send a trap with Gazelle. He didn't need to send Falco.
we see the other set card was Cosmic Cyclone, which makes this even more stranger that he didn't set a trap here. It was
Maybe he's just not scared at all about the engine, and he wanted to be able to get rid of the trap cards only. But still, if you want to do that, you can send a rage.
yeah. I don't agree with the
I
line of play
just
at all.
don't know. But putting Cyclone in going first in that matchup seems to be useful. I think it's a good idea because, as we said, the only problem is gonna be the trap cards in that matchup.
Agreed. I definitely think the card choice to put that in was definitely correct. I'm just not sure about the south portion where he was sending the traps and stuff, or if he didn't send the traps.
Yeah, maybe
The south
he
was
wanted to be able to um he wanted to be able to send the bigger number of name of Salamangreat monster for the next turn. And here, for example, when the opponent uses Lightning Storm, I think I would let Wheel die because Falco is more likely gonna reborn Wheel, like reset it at some point.
agreed.
So using Bailings for that is like it's a big because what you wanna do with Salah in that kind of matchup is keep Sunlight on the field one turn and you just win. And now you just can't do that. And the wheel you just saved is gonna reborn the Sunlight that you would have on the board. So it's just I don't really agree with what's happening right now. Because now he can't go on hit Leo directly, you know what I mean? He has to use wheel first. And I think Ryan, if he has Cyclone somewhere in his deck, it's in his main deck right now because in that matchup Cyclone is so useful, even
And
if he's already playing Lightning Storm.
we see the Beatrice hit the field, and Beatrice is just so strong in this matchup. Just what Beatrice brings to the table is Foolish Burial for your entire deck, and as you know, your entire deck is pretty much just amazing sends versus Salamangreats. Like if you send off Arfa, that takes care of a huge issue. You can send Backjack to get a Dino-Miscus to permanently take care of any
Hmm.
card, Fiend Griefing as well. There's just so many good options. Not only that, but it floats into the Fusion, and I think the Fusion's pretty good in this matchup as well. But
Yeah. BX tried to use Gazelle in damage step, which is not possible, guys. Keep it in mind. It happens sometimes. You're just lost in your thoughts, you know. So don't be too harsh on that with him.
there's a lot of players that miss that part as well.
Yeah.
It's just
So now we know Foxy, we know the field spell, we know Gazelle, and three unknown cards, which can't be Ash because he would try to use Ash on the tour guide. So there's no Ash. So what can it be exactly here? There's no Veiler as well, because if there was one Veiler, he would use it on tour guide still. No Imperm.
exactly.
I just can't imagine what card he has in his hand except Salamangreat monsters.
It's always possible that he decided to pass on, um, or he top decked the Ash, and if he top decked the Ash, then he can definitely use it here, but it's very unlikely. I think maybe Nibiru is an option because a lot of
Yeah,
people are
Nibiru, maybe Phantasme, but it will be a shame to have Phantasme in your deck right now. Even Nibiru is really bad, I would say. When you resolve it, it's really strong against them, but when you see that Carmano did played around Nibiru perfectly game one, maybe you just side them out, you know?
I think that's, like, part of the issue as well with playing against BA is a lot of people don't know that BA doesn't actually make 5 summons, at least the trap version, right? People think that when people think of BA, they're thinking of, like, Block Dragon
Yeah,
BA stuff, and they're thinking, "Okay, I can just Nibiru against this deck." The new BA is pretty much all traps. They're using Fiend Griefing, Karma Cut, Dinomiscus. I'm not sure if,
yeah,
Ryan's playing Karma Cut. I know only a few lists do, but it's basically a control deck, and
it is. It's playing like 10 hand traps, 10 trap cards, and then an engine which is really, really good. Um, the only the only issue I have here is that if he's siding the Cyclone, and I would think he's siding in the summon limit as well, then he has to side out the Nibiru and maybe the Impermanence.
mhm.
So I don't think there's Nibiru in his main deck right now. So I don't understand what cards are in his hand.
That
Also,
Falco-san definitely threw me off for trying to predict what was in his hand. Maybe he's trying to make it so that we can't telegraph his moves, right?
yeah, I don't understand. Maybe yeah, I just don't know. He's going to go on Linguribo now, more likely, I would say. And then he might try to OTK Carmelo, but Ryan has 3 unknown cards in his hand, I think. No, he has 1 card from Skyrim.
Yes, he has 1 card from Skarm. I don't know exactly what was added. I believe another tour guide, though.
So that's the problem when you play against someone like Ryan, for example. If I was playing against someone I don't know, I would think there is no Nibiru because the opponent did not use Nibiru directly. But Ryan is able to keep it if he thinks he can beat the board, and he knew that he could beat the board because he had Lightning Storm. Maybe he just wanted Lightning Storm to be alive, and then he did not use Nibiru. Or maybe he's just not playing Nibiru in BA, which is something that I would say is normal. You just really don't want to have Nibiru on field.
Right, and also he passed on kind of a suboptimal board as well, and I think the Lightning Storm just kind of handled it, and maybe he just didn't feel like he needed to Nibiru there.
Hmm. So protecting Will was a good and a bad thing, I would say. He lost his Sunlight, and Sunlight was able to add back Wheel, you know what I mean? So it was just he just lose the Sunlight in the like if the opponent handle Falco, get rid of Falco, you set back Wheel. If they don't, then you just use Sunlight effect to get back Wheel. So it's just he lost a Link 2 here on the last turn play.
Yeah, and the resources will definitely come into play here. This is going to probably be a grindier match if Ryan Yu has any sort of interruption for
Yeah.
these plays.
And
So
now
these
using Wheel to summon a monster from his hand is okay, I would say, but in that kind of matchup, you want Will to summon multiple monsters. If you don't, like he showed us that he did not care about Nibiru last turn, so you want to go on your Cyber's play if possible. So now he's going on Dweller or Baguska. Okay, it's a Dweller. That's really weird as well.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to out the Beatrice for now, but
But
it's very
how?
strange since he can't beat over it. He did send the Rage to the graveyard, so maybe the Rage is being hmm.
But he misses one fire monster here. How is he gonna set back Rage? He did not use Jaguar effect, right? So he's just gonna use Dweller now, sending Jaguar and then Jaguar and Sunlight, but he's not able to relink Sunlight because he just relinked Bailings.
Exactly, which means that he would need another fire monster on top of that. Has he used Foxy this turn?
Uh, no, yeah, he did. He sent Falco with Foxy, I think. But this turn is like a lot of mistakes have been done here.
Agreed.
Like he did not. When you do a turn, when you try, because here he's literally trying to grind, and this turn he did not use Wheel to summon multiple monsters. He did not use any of Sunlight effects. Gazelle is not in his hand anymore. Uh, or maybe he did not use Falco, and then he's gonna use Falco to sack Bat Rage right now. Maybe that was his plan.
Waiting till the main phase to use Dweller, though, was definitely strange.
No, they are still in main phase of BX here, BX.
Hmm.
And Ryan said that he wanted to use Beatrice in main phase, so he could Veiler the Dweller. And now I think he's gonna send Farfa and banish the Dweller, so it comes back without any material. Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. That's really smart. Or maybe he's gonna banish the Linkuribo and use his trap cards to remove Dweller. I just don't know which one of these it's gonna be.
Guess it depends on the trap card. If his trap card's a Deinonychus or something of that nature, then I think that that play would be better. But it looks like that he's going to be using Farfa on the Dweller, which means that the Dweller
Hmm.
will come back with 0 X-Men materials, and then he won't be able to use it on Ryan Yu's turn. So
Yeah.
he does free reign to activate Beatrice. He can activate the tour guide effect, probably do some graph Dante loops.
Yeah, so the thing is here, I understand what BX wanted to do, and I think the end goal, the goal of your turn was to end up with Dweller and Rage for sure. But I don't think it was the better way to do it. I think you could have a Sunlight as well and a Linguribo if you just wanted to use Wheel for two, for example. So now we have informations about what was the hand of BX, and I think he has he had so Jaguar was in his hand for sure, and that's what we said before. So he had used the Salamangreat monster with Foxy, which is unfortunate. But I also think because he just set two, I think he had another Cyclone, but he just wanted to set one.
Playing around the Lightning Storm with the Evenly too, which is, if he was, then this shallow play might actually be really big. He definitely
Yeah,
had bone traps in his hand that he decided not to set. So
but still, I would if he had Cyclone, maybe he would use it in draw phase on the back row, so he just don't need to make Linguribo, and he has enough fire monster to make Sunlight and stuff. So it's kind of weird. We just cannot predict what he has uh, as a set card here. Okay, so there was another Cyclone. That was something you could try to guess still. Mm. So he's using Cyclone here, so he's able to use Linguribo on it, which is smart, but still I think you should use Cyclone in your draw phase and try to either OTK or put up Dweller plus Rage. It was easily doable if you don't go into Linguribo and you keep the fire monster you used for it.
I agree as well. I think that you were correct in saying that he doesn't have the Cosmic Cyclone, because if he did, he would have used it in the draw phase. But unfortunately, he did because he didn't see that play, or maybe he's just not. Who
He
knows?
wanted to grind more. Maybe he thought he would be able to go on double Sunlight still, but he just wasn't. And now he's gonna have another problem if Ryan is playing Beatrice targets, which he is. So yeah, I think you still and there was a roar. So roar is definitely the card he drew because there's no way you don't set roar in that time in that spot. So he still have another back row that we don't know. No, it's rage, right? It's rage. So
Right.
his opening hand was Foxy that revealed Wheel, Gazelle, Yeah, Foxy, Gazelle, Jaguar, Cyclone, Cyclone, right?
Right.
I think there
Alright.
was so much, like, I think the game was won at that point with what happened, because if you just send a trap with
Here comes the
Gazelle,
key. This is insane. Okay, so
okay, this is
Ryan
insane.
pretty much stole the game from this point on. I would keep the will here, right? I think that's your
Yeah,
play.
yeah, you have to keep the wheel, but it's not enough. You just can't recover from that.
Mhm.
There's no way. But,
This was really well played by
oh my god.
Ryan here.
Yeah, oh my god.
This is
Okay,
oh, and store.
I still think Ryan drew evenly on that spot because he can't have evenly here. There's no way. He
If he
will
top
use,
decked it evenly, that's really insane.
yeah, yeah, I think he top decked it. And now it's really hard. Now it's really, really hard. Ryan just sent me a message saying that he did not top deck it. So he kept it, which is okay-ish, I would say. Like it's not the choice I will make, but if you think that you are, uh, I won't say a better player, but if you think that um, you play better than your opponent, maybe you can keep it for the surprise of it.
There was definitely a lot of outplay with that battle phase that went on right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Was definitely very pog. So
But
I think
yeah,
craft dies here, right? Yeah.
it's I really like how Ryan is playing as usual. I like but it's also because he's playing decks that I like, um since, okay, I don't really understand the BA plays here. I just don't know the cards. Oh my god. Anyway, so I was saying, yeah, I like the fact that he's playing decks that don't have a lot of variance involved, you know. You can always find a way to play it better.
Mhm.
Like for example, Sky or BA, Salah, even Edlish Synchro at some point. And he's just doing a really great job with them.
Yeah, he's pretty much had control over both of these games that came up. Every single round has pretty much been in his favor. He's just completely shown why he is definitely one of the better players in this game.
Yeah. Um, as you can see, guys, for example, if on turn one, on the first turn of Orion, BX did not protect the wheel, he would have sunlight already on the field, and then on its second turn of the second turn of BX, he was able to use sunlight effect, get back the wheel, and then I think it was already over. Like there was too much stuff on the field.